Part 1. Introduction. Hello, my name is Amy, and today I will be reading a few extracts from Live Evil. The Death Sentence arc, which is a novel series created by Lester Williams Jr., also known as L.R. the Writer, and is written in the hybrid multi-perspective writing style, or hybrid style for short. The series was created by Lester Williams Jr., also known as L.R. the Writer, and is written in the hybrid multi-perspective writing style, or hybrid style for short, which is an original avant-garde writing style L.R. the Writer created to appeal to visual learners. If you wish to learn more about the hybrid style, the novels written in the style, and the creator, you can watch either the complete or essay versions of the hybrid analysis videos. Links to the videos, a plot summary for From Live Evil the Death Sentence arc, and more information are in the description down below. Part 2. The Hybrid Extract Types. Before I read the extracts, one thing to note is in the hybrid style, there are two types of extracts. The first is a primary extract, which is any extract that is the beginning of a new perspective. The second is a secondary extract, which is any extract that comes from a random point in a story that doesn't start a new perspective. Due to this, an author will write a secondary extract perspective, which is also called Category 3, Extract Facts. A secondary extract perspective is broken up into 4 sections from A to D. Section A is for a character's name and possibly a title to the left or right side of their name. Section B is the franchise title, Section C is the series title, and finally, Section D is for the date an extract takes place on. Part 3, the extracts. Primary extract, example 1. From Live Evil, the Death Sentence Arc Book 1, Chapter 1. Sentence 1, the debut of an evil angel. June 18, 2040. Trey Parker, New York City, Mortimer Apartment Complex, Trey's apartment, 6 a.m. Just like so many days before I wake up and do my usual routine. I was just in the middle of getting dressed while I listened to the morning news with Joanne White. Fact: Joanne White. She appears in multiple novel series written by Lester Williams Jr. and often takes the role of a reporter. TV. This is Joanne White with today's morning news, Joanne informed. Our top story is last night an entire drug dealer's base of operation was broken into and everyone was slaughtered in a bloodbath. Police have once again identified the person as Vigilante Evil Einstein, who slips away once again. Ever since Evil showed up over 5 years ago, some people worship him for taking down the criminal world, and others belittle him for not leaving crime to the law. Let us just hope that one day, Evil will be willing to cooperate with the police. Just as a reminder, Evil is described as a young man with long white hair, red eyes, sharp teeth, and a teardrop tattoo under his left eye. Now, let us look back at Evil's greatest sins. I mute the TV to allow my mind to focus on swallowing my morning breakfast, which consists of butter toast, orange juice, and waffles. Sigh. Okay, Trey, calm down, I requested. It's just an average day. Who cares what happens to other people? You need to care about yourself. Just as I reminded myself of my principle for life, I step on a roach which meant one thing had to be done. Sigh. This early in the morning, I admitted. To get rid of this problem as soon as possible, I get down on my knees and activate my powers. As the spirit within the roach leaves its now empty vessel, the spirit is magnetized to my palm where it transforms into a ball of blue light. Now with this blue light, this blank spirit's fate rests in my palm. Let's see, what should I turn you into? I wondered. I know how about a pigeon. With my mind made up, I activate my powers. Using my magic, I take the matter which was used to make the roach and gather it together, destroying the roach's body in the process. Using the matter from the roach's body along with matter from the air, the ball of blue light takes the form of a living, breathing pigeon that was born right in my palm. With the new organism now in existence, it flaps, its wings testing its ability to fly. Don't worry, I reincarnated you as a 5-year-old pigeon, I commented. You'll be fine to fly. I opened my apartment window, releasing the new creature into the sky. I know anyone who saw what I just did would be confused. I know it's impossible for a human to create life in an instant, but I'm not human. I have just taken the form of one. You see, when a person dies, Their spirit wanders the earth until they are caught by a spirit seeker, which are special beings who have been chosen to reincarnate life. How does one become a spirit seeker? When you die, you're just randomly assigned to become one, I guess. I really have no idea. All I know is I suddenly came into existence one day and woke up with basic information about what I am. Now I live my life as a secret agent, I suppose. I can only assume there are thousands of spirit seekers across the globe, however I don't know any of them. For all I know, I might be the only one. With my breakfast finish, I head out into the world. Due to my secret, I cannot do many things, including having close friends or a family. I still age like a normal human, however, if I die, I can reincarnate myself back to life as a man, woman, a real-life creature, or a fantasy creature. Despite being immortal, I am continuously tortured by walking out of my apartment each day and seeing all the loving families walk up and down the halls. I have been a spirit seeker for 300 years. As a spirit seeker, you are simply created. You have no parents and no family. Who knows when it all will end? For now, I approached the mail area where I run into my neighbor, Gabriel. "Morning, Trey," Gabriel greeted. As usual, my mind lacks all joy for social encounters. "Morning," I speak. "You know, Trey, how long we have known each other?" Gabriel asked. "It feels like forever, and yet it seems like we have never had a proper introduction." I couldn't care less about what even my next-door neighbor has to say about me. As Gabriel talks, I look through my mail, wondering if there's a bill to pay. "That's because I chose not to," I admitted and attempted to walk off. "Wait, Trey," Gabriel begged. "I was just wondering if you would like to come over for dinner with me and my wife. I don't know if you remember, but me and her are going to have a child, so I want to get our final days of fun as a couple out of the way." I knew instantly what my answer would be and stuck to it. "I'm not interested," I claimed. "I like my space." With nothing more to be said, I fled from the building to my car and drove to work. Why would anyone want to be friends with me is a mystery that shall go unsolved. As I drove my car, I see parents taking their children to school. I glance at it for a moment, then brush it off. Driving. Why does anyone want children? I asked myself. Probably just to give themselves a purpose to keep on living. Sigh. Life is already stressful enough. People just like to add pressure on it. Guess while I'm driving, I should go over some basic facts. While regular spirits are made of a blue energy, a spirit seeker's spirit is made of a yellow energy. What are the names of these energies? I really don't know. Whoever created me, unfortunately, didn't program me with that information. Spirit seekers can reincarnate a spirit into basically anything, including liquids, gases, solids, and energy. If I turn a spirit into energy, the energy will eventually vanish, and the spirit at some point will reform into a new spirit for me to reincarnate again. In the world, I live in spirits form everything. They are what allow objects to hold a physical form. Without a spirit, there is nothing. When a person dies, a spirit seeker is able to decide what happens to the spirit that leaves their corpse. Normally, when I see a spirit by me, I just turn it into a bug and leave it at that. I arrive at my place at work, which is a fast food restaurant called the Queen's Chicken Club. As ridiculous as the name is, it makes for a good cover. Who would ever assume that a being of my status would go to work at such a place? Sometimes the best place to hide is in plain sight among my other employees. With my uniform don, along with my hat, I enter the establishment. The first thing I see is my fellow workers preparing for the day. "Morning, Trey," David speaks as he sweeps the floor. "On time, as always." "Why would I want to be late for work?" I questioned. David is what I consider to be one of the clowns of this working team. I can tolerate him for the time I have to. Chuckling. "Oh, Trey, you need to put on a smile," David teased. "After all, you know what tonight is?" "No, I don't," I admitted. "You forgot already?" David wondered. "Tonight is Jackson's bachelor party before his upcoming wedding, and he's taking some of the guys in the restaurant out on the town. You're not going to miss it, are you?" It only took a second for me to remind myself I didn't see much value in celebrating someone's last night of being a free man. Of course, not to cause tension between me and David, I brush it off without much of comment. "I really don't think it's for me," I claimed. I walked behind the counter with David following me. "Oh, Come on, Trey, David pleaded. We have both worked here for almost 4 years, and I've never seen you make attempt to go after a woman, have some fun, or even do anything more than this. Don't you want to break away from your regular life? I don't see why I should, I challenged. David knew for a fact that I was an iron-layered nut that would not crack anytime soon. Sigh. Okay, Trey. David accepted. Have it your way, but at least just think about it. Flipping burgers all day doesn't sound that rewarding. With David going to his station, I could get to work by getting the proper ingredients. The burger meat, the tomatoes, the cheese, the lettuce, and the buns out of the storage room, so I could prepare to make the burgers I always do. As I set everything up, my fellow worker Piper approaches me as hyper as ever. Morning, Trey, Piper greeted. Her positivity just makes me want to crawl back to my bed, but that isn't an option. Sigh. What is it today? I questioned. Aliens, giant squids, vampires? Piper, because of her passion for being a reporter of the unknown, she has fallen in love with this documentary show called Fiend Hunters, which documents all the strange monsters which have been showing up across the world, and unfortunately, I'm one of her go-to guys when she wants to talk about it. Trey, you wouldn't believe this, Piper yelled. Piper presented me a photo on her smartphone of an aquatic dinosaur that reminded me of a crocodile. This thing is called a pelicosaurus, Piper informed. And people are saying they have seen sightings of a creature like this near the coast of New Jersey. Can you believe that? No, I admitted with no emotion. Of all the stunts that Fiend Hunter show does, that has to be the most pathetic. Piper didn't like my comment, as I predicted. Gasp. Trey, do you really think this whole show is fake? Piper interrogated. After all the proof and evidence it has brought in? Piper, I argued. With all due respect, in this day and age, you can fake anything and make it sound scary. It's hard to believe that despite all this evidence, that show of yours never captured any creatures. Sigh. Listen, I know you want to be a reporter, but I think you should focus on everyday issues like the stock market or something. Anyway, I need to start cooking. Piper looked to be annoyed by my answer, and yet maintained herself for the sake of keeping a relaxing work environment which was free from hostility. Think what you want, Piper informed. If you say it's all fake, fine. Sigh. I wish I knew what you were passionate about so I could make a comparison. No offense, Trey, but you don't look like you're thrilled by anything. Can't argue with that observation. However, I can give my coworker a glimpse of how I process the world. Piper, if you wish to know what I'm passionate about, here are 3 examples, I acknowledged. Keeping my job, keeping my livelihood, and keeping my sanity are just a few of them. Well, good to know there's some things you're passionate about, Piper teased. Anyway, gotta get ready for work. Piper, I can admit, was a okay person to be around, although she can be a bit hyper. She had a genuine family-friendly feel to her that made her perfect at staying tranquil. It was good to have her around, but I could never tell that to her face, then I would be asking for more of her. As Piper left my sight, the other male cook, Oliver, a man that had the personality of a scarecrow, walked to my side with a load of food supplies to cook. Trey, Piper giving you trouble again? Oliver asked. Yeah, I answered. I don't know why she always comes to me about these things. Sigh. You need someone to communicate with, Oliver informed me. Even at work, it's best to have a friend to give your thoughts to. Trust me, Trey. There are a special group of disgusting, careless freaks out that can't comprehend the consequences of their actions, and you never who any of them are. That's why it's important to build bonds with someone. Oliver, in my opinion, was a rare case. Like me, he did often get corroded by his pessimistic view of life and speak in a dead, serious tone. However, over time, he has managed to keep it more internal to the point where he could actually socialize and befriend many of the employees in less than a month working here. I guess I can give him some credit for changing his ways for the sake of maintaining a comfortable setting. You know, Oliver, I get that it's good to trust people, I spoke, especially if you have to see them every day. But just because you trust someone, that doesn't mean they qualify as nothing more than an ally. No arguments, Oliver accepted. Sigh. To be fair, Trey, I really pretend to like a lot of people here. I've only worked here less than 4 weeks, so it's better for my sake. but I think after 4 years here, you would have really gotten to know these people. I can see where Oliver is coming from. People make that mistake all the time in this world. Just because two people are forced to sit close to each other, to work near each other, to form a team over a long period of time, some people think that they have to bond at some point. To that is say, just because two trees are planted close together doesn't mean their roots will intertwine for life. That's just your assumption, I added. I prefer to distance myself from others. Coworkers are like technology, they'll come and go, and when they no longer function, they leave. My coworker may not bring much excitement in his voice, but he still showed slight changes in his behavior depending on how he felt. Sigh. Wow, Oliver commented. Just when I thought I couldn't care less. Well, Trey, I hope you stick by your words. Wouldn't want you to regret them. Talking to Oliver sometimes made me feel like I was talking to a version of myself who was slightly drunk. Sometimes he did make me smile on the inside due to how alike we are. But even with his tolerable personality, I still can't see him as a friend due to hiding my powers. My mind was made up about it and it won't turn back. So the day started. The customers started to come in and, like always, I got to work making burgers out of all the necessary ingredients. As I flip the burgers, I can see spirits all around me. As a spirit seeker, the world of spirits become visible to me. However, I don't have time to reincarnate any of them. I just have to keep on watching the grill. At least these spirits can't talk to me, otherwise my life would really become torture all the time. After my first shift, my coworker Ruby takes over the grill as I eat lunch. Just as I was about to step out for lunch, I see my male coworkers around a table. "Hey, Trey!" Liam yells. "Where are you going?" "Out to lunch," I answered. "Don't you want in on this? We're going over Jackson's bachelor party?" Liam wondered. I knew exactly what I was going to say. Exposing myself to anyone could mean this world will be thrown into chaos, arguing about the truth. Even knowing the combination of words I would use, a certain coworker of mine already knew for sure what I would say. "Why would you ask him?" Ken questioned. "Trey is basically a robot. He's just going to spoil the fun." "Ken, cut the guy a break," David ordered. "It wouldn't be fair if we didn't try and invite him." Yeah, I get that," Ken claimed. "Listen, I'm just being honest. Trey, I think you can agree with me when I say you don't know the first thing about living. Really, what do you do besides work? You never try and hang out with us. We never see any of your family. You don't have a girlfriend. You don't have any social media. You don't have anything besides this place." Ken was right. In order to keep my identity of being a spirit seeker hidden from sight, I had disconnected myself from everyone. My neighbors and coworkers all fit into the same corner of my mind, which I pay no attention to. Is this what I really call living? Face it, Trey, Ken protested. You'll just slow us down. Some of us are ready to get rid of a few $1 bills. I really didn't know how to respond since Ken was right. A coconut thrown across the ocean lives a more fulfilling lifestyle than me, even if I'm basically a deity. Not like I could tell anyone that. I might not have been able to defend myself, but the lucky groom himself did. "Hey guys, cool down," Jackson begged and stood up. "Look, I know this is supposed to be my night, but we all have fun in our own way. Trey, you don't have to come, but you're going to have to come out of your shell eventually. You don't have to decide now. We'll have the party bus swing by your apartment at 7:30. Until then, just relax." I may not consider Jackson or any of these guys as friends, but I do have at least appreciate them when they stick up for me. "Okay, Jackson, I'll think about it," I claimed. "Sure you will," Ken said sarcastically. I stepped out of the restaurant and walked across the street to a strip mall. For my lunch, today, I went to a local sushi restaurant and got a to-go order. Once I paid for and obtained it, I decided to dine on a bench in the middle of the mall. Everything from this setting seemed perfect. The sun was bathing me in heat, people were smiling all around me, and my hunger could be satisfied. As I ate my food, I felt a missing ingredient, not with the food, but with me. All around me, I bear witness to groups of people, from couples holding hands to families. It was rare to see someone alone. There was this strong feeling that I didn't know what to do with myself and that made me frustrated with the world. The peak of my anger was when I saw a child fall and saw their father pick them off the ground to comfort them. I had not finished my sushi, but my mind told me I was. I tossed my food in a trash can and ran off to the entrance of the mall. Deep breathing. "What is wrong with me?" I barked. "I can't get emotional like this. I just can't. Focus. Trey, remember, you're not a regular human. You're a spirit seeker. You can't focus on things like family or love. Those things don't matter. You don't need things like that." Tearing up. I knew for a fact that having a family or getting close to anyone means that I risk my existence. But still, what kind of life am I living? I restore life and give organisms a new purpose, but at the same time, I really don't live much at all. As I thought this, I heard the agony of a bird screaming in pain. In the bushes, I saw how a small stone pigeon was on its last limb. The moment I got near it, the bird died, leaving behind its corpse. The spirit of the bird was thrown out of the body and took home in my fist as a blue energy sphere. Sigh. "Don't worry, little guy, I'll make sure you live on," I claimed. "Everyone deserves a second life." After I scanned the area to see if anyone was watching me, I got to work. With my magic, I gathered matter from across my surroundings, as well as destroying the bird corpse in order to create a new home for the spirit. I decided to house the spirit within a squirrel's body. Once I was finished, I placed the creature on the ground. "There you go." I spoke. "You're free to live a new life." The squirrel did not want to leave me. It even tried to crawl up my arm. "Sorry, I can't keep you," I claimed. "You need to live your own life without me." Sigh. "Trust me, trying to make the best of your life is one of the hardest things you'll ever do. So you need to get started." The squirrel climbed up a tree where it came in contact with another squirrel. The two ran off into the bushes. I could only guess what happens next. "Some organisms have all the luck in the world," I admitted. If only I had that kind of luck. I looked down at my watch to see how much time I had left for lunch. "Perfect still got 10 minutes to make it back," I claimed. As I walked back to work, I stumbled upon a jumbo-sized TV that displayed the news. There was a small crowd of people, or should I say fangirls and guys, staring at a blonde-haired woman displayed on it. TV. "Hello, my loyal fans." The woman on TV spoke. "This is your sweetheart Liv Malum here, reminding you all to chase after your dreams. As an artist, I know the struggles and hardships of life, but hope can always be reincarnated in some form, and you have to make it happen. Remember, everyone, to live evil." The woman named Liv kissed the camera and went off. The reporter Joanne White then came on the screen. With the broadcast over, the crowd got excited, and that just left me more confused. "Liv?" I questioned. "Who names a child Liv?" One of the fans of this woman approached me, which was an adult man. "You don't know who Liv is?" the fanboy interrogated. "She's only an up-and-coming artist. She's also a highly claimed motivational speaker with millions of online followers. She's most known for her phrase, 'live evil,' which means to live life to the fullest regardless of what people think. Do you know how many people she inspires?" No," I confessed. Sigh. "Well, I shouldn't be surprised," the fanboy admitted. "Judging from your personality and uniform, looks like you don't have much of a life. You need to follow her words. You need to live how you want to. And if this is how you want to live, then you really need to raise your expectations." The fanboy walked away with his rant about me and my fast food uniform over. Does the world have a problem with fast food employees or something? Really thinking about it, I had some memory who this woman is based on seeing her on TV. Since she did not play a factor in my life, I didn't care for her or what she says. I just had to escape the crowd and go on back to my job. "Liv Malum?" I questioned. "What kind of name is Liv anyway? Seems like the easiest way to jinx someone. I do remember hearing the name Liv before. I probably saw her while skipping through channels." As I walked back to work while walking through the parking lot, one of my coworkers who was riding a skateboard decided to approach me. That coworker is a sarcastic, white-haired reaper named Lucy McFall, who always had one eye covered by her hair. Usually on her breaks, Lucy spends her time practicing her skateboarding tricks. I wish I could have run fast enough to avoid seeing her. However, like a predator hiding in wait, she sensed my movements and quickly rode her skateboard over to where I was. "Trey back from lunch," Lucy acknowledged. "You look dead inside as usual." Lucy is the type of person who likes to get under people's skin for fun. "Lucy," I acknowledge, "you look as snobby as ever." Why, thank you, Lucy teased. Looks like nothing has changed with you. Unless you're going to that stripper party for Jackson. I doubt it, I replied. So, do I? Lucy admitted as she rode around me on her skateboard. But that's not surprising. Sigh. Lucy? I questioned as I approached the restaurant. Are you done with your remarks? I know you won't stop bothering me until I hear all your comments. Before replying, Lucy stopped riding and used her foot to pick up her skateboard. Trey, you really think I'm just a pest? Lucy interrogated. Despite your feelings about me, I'm trying to help you stay in check and stop you from doing something you'll regret. If you really wanted to go to that party, do you think you would be fighting the desire to go? Maybe, I suggested, but that's none of your business. Trey, I don't need your permission to give a damn, Lucy argued. I was just trying to look out for you using my own methods, but I'm always willing to take it back if it's not wanted. Anyway, I need to go put my skateboard away and get back to the drive-through window. With nothing left to say, Lucy walked back inside the restaurant. To be honest, I did appreciate her support, but I wouldn't tell her that, because that meant I was inviting her to bother me more than she usually does. Secondary extract. Example 1. Trey Parker. Live Evil. The Death Sentence Arc. June 18th, 2040. After getting home, I ate dinner and took a shower. While I took a shower, I questioned if my life was pointless despite my powers. Sigh. What kind of life is this? I begged. I make burgers, give spirits new bodies, and that's it. Okay, Trey, you need to focus. You know what you are. You're an immortal deity hiding in plain sight, and that is all you're going to be. You have no choice. If the world knew the truth, there is no telling what could happen to you and this planet. After getting out of the shower, I switched on the TV and collapsed in my bed. What is on to watch? I wondered. As I flipped through the channels, I saw a new interview with Joanne White and Liv Malum. TV. Hello, everyone. Joanne White here to interview some of the latest talent at Comic Con. Liv Malum. Joanne spoke. Liv, please tell me you have done so many different art forms throughout your life, and now you're focused on video game designing. Tell me what inspired you to get into this field. As Liv looked at the camera, I felt like she was staring into my soul, which made me want to keep watching. TV. Well, Joanne, Liv replied, I really don't have a reason. I just wanted to try something new, and turns out I really liked it. That's the great thing about being an artist. You never know just how wide your imagination will stretch and what fields it will consume. TV. Well said, Joanne complimented. TV. You know, Joanne, Liv added. If you ask me, the problem with a lot of people nowadays is that so many of them want fame, but aren't willing to work for it. And then, when they get the fame, they can't handle the pressure to stay relevant. And that's why you have so many celebrities clinging on to anything they can to get attention. That's not how I want to live my life. I want to put my talents above the fame that it gives me. Before Liv kept on talking, she once again looked directly at the camera, which ensured she still held onto my full attention to anyone out there listening. Liv spoke. I want you to live your life exactly the way you want to, and that means taking risk. A life without risk is no life at all. But just remember, not all lifestyles are looked at equally, so maybe you need to go somewhere that is fully accepting of your lifestyle. I wasn't the only one who was creeped out by those words, as I assumed Joanne was also creeped out, but for the sake of the audience, kept up an act. TV. My, what interesting words to say, Joanne complimented. So, your latest task is working on character designs for the video game franchise known as A Call for Doomsday. Yes, Liv agreed. It's been fun seeing how my creations pop off the screen then murder their enemies. Sigh. It makes me feel like a proud mother. TV, chuckling. That's wonderful, Joanne claimed. So, Liv, any last words before we depart? TV. Just reminding everyone, Liv commented. Don't be afraid to go on outside and get out of your comfort zone. You never know what's out there, and like I always say, live evil. I may have turned my TV off, but Liv had already penetrated my thoughts. She just was so happy doing what she loves, and which is opposite of myself. Sigh. Get out of your comfort zone. I spoke. I look at my phone and see it's only 7:20 p.m. That gives me enough time to get dressed. Well, Trey, you may be a spirit seeker, but you still have basic needs. I acknowledged. With the time I had left, I got dressed, got my money, and headed out of my apartment in a suit. On my way out of the building, I bumped into my neighbor, Gabriel. Trey, Gabriel acknowledged. Looks like you're going out tonight. Hot date? Not exactly, I informed. Anyway, I need to go. After waiting outside for a few minutes, a stretched-out black jumbo-sized party bus approached me. This was the moment of truth. With one step inside, I entered a whole new world filled with all my male coworkers, including Oliver, David, Ken, Liam, Jonathan, Mikey, and the Bachelor himself, Jackson. All the guys cheered as I entered. Trey, you made it, David yelled. Now the gang's all here, Mikey added. Driver, let's get going. As I sat down, Oliver poured me a drink of champagne. There were many different opinions about me being here, but of all them, I knew the slob of the group, Jonathan, really was neutral on my presence. So, Trey? Jonathan commented. Not that I care, but just want to say, I hope you have a great time and maybe you'll meet someone. Of everyone here, the clown Liam simply had to butt in, laughing. Meet someone? Liam mocked. I doubt that will happen. I don't see Trey getting a girlfriend, but he might get lucky if he plays his cards right. All right, guys, calm down, Jackson ordered. This is supposed to be a fun party, not just for me, but for all of us. We all toasted our glasses, ready to enjoy the night. So, tell me, Jackson. David spoke. Why did you decide to invite us all out instead of your friends? Jackson seemed to be a bit nervous and stunted that such a question like that was raised, chuckling. Well, 2 reasons, really, Jackson added. For one, all my close friends are either married or have to travel to come to the wedding and couldn't be here. The second, I figured none of you could afford a party like this, like me who's marrying a soccer star. We all had a good laugh over Jackson's comment. I wasn't one to see the humor in the ugly truth, but these guys did, so I just went along with it. Laughing. Okay, I'll give you that, Mikey accepted. So, guys, besides Jackson, who's going to go all the way? Besides Jackson and me, everyone else raised their hands. What do you mean all the way? I asked. My question would have to wait as we arrived at our destination. You'll see, Mikey teased. Remember, Trey, be on your naughtiest behavior. I got a reputation around here to keep. We all came out of the bus. I saw the building we came to a place called the Tiger Cage Bar. I didn't need to imagine how the inside looked. From the guys' faces, it was clear. After being dragged inside by everyone, it was confirmed that this place was in fact a strip club. Before we did anything, the owner of the strip club shook hands with Mikey. Captain Conroy, Mikey praised and shook the owner's hands. The Big M himself, Captain Conroy cheered. Welcome back. So this is the crew. Great to meet you all. Follow me, I saved a special room for you all. We followed the supposed captain through the club. In this dark chamber, I felt a bit awkward. Seeing all these men drool over these women was not the sight I desired to see. I could tolerate all of it for the time being. The guys had already acted like they were drunk, and we haven't even gotten into the room. Once we all were gathered, we each had own seat with drinks and food by our side. Without much of a warning, a group of strippers came into the room. So who is the lucky man getting hitched? Captain Conroy asked. That's me, sir. Jackson smiled. 3 of the strippers surrounded Jackson, ready to please him. As for the rest of us, we each got 1 stripper each to fill our fantasy. Oh, here we go, David yelled. Just like that, the private room we were in became a party house filled to the brim with people dancing, eating, or just sitting down enjoying the strippers. The stripper I had been given was a black brunette. My body was reacting as it should, but my mental state was just awkward. It like I was a robot lost on an island. My environment did not connect to me. So, handsome, what's your name? The stripper asked. It's Trey, I added. That's a nice name, call me Chi-Chi. The stripper spoke. Wow, what a lovely reference, I said sarcastically. You couldn't think of anything more creative and less obvious. Chi-Chi stuck her breast in my face. Trey is my fake name, really what you're focusing on? Chi-Chi questioned. Just sit back and learn to live a little. The groom over there is having the time of his life, why shouldn't you? Of all my hundreds of years of living, I never could think the day would come where I would agree with a stripper. Chi-Chi did have a point. Jackson looked like he could die at the spot at any second, but yet that did not process in his head. He was just having fun. Chi-Chi wrapped her hands around me, trying to force me to relax. Trey, don't you want to be like him? Chi-Chi wondered. Before you settle down, you need to live now while you can. It was amazing. I took Liv's advice and tried to take a risk, and still I didn't feel good. As I was at a downfall, Chi-Chi dragged me out of my seat and everyone began to dance. Trey, you really pulled through, Liam admitted. Did Ken words convince you? Not exactly, I suggested. I just wanted to take a risk. Laughing. Well, your risk really paid off, Liam claimed. Literally. What do you mean? I questioned as I danced. Me, David, Ken, Jonathan, and Mikey bet $50, Liam added. That one of us couldn't convince you to come, and David took that bet, and he made a killing. Upon hearing this news, I just lost all the energy to move my hips to the music. Instead of being shocked, I just hunted down David dancing with a stripper. David, we need to talk, I ordered. Why didn't you tell me there was a bet? Oh, yeah, about that. David spoke. Look, Trey, who cares? I got you here and I got paid, so both of us win. I was planning on giving you half of the money I won after the party was over. Growling. I don't care about the money, I confessed. What I care about is the fact you guys think my life is a joke and you all can just bet on it. Trey, you're taking this a bit too seriously, David commented. You're around sexy women, drinks, and food. You're just finding a reason to complain. Be mad at me tomorrow at work, but don't ruin this night. Just as I was ready to bark again, Captain Conroy re-entered the room and blew a whistle. Okay, everyone, let's leave the lucky groom alone, Captain Conroy claimed. As for the rest of you guys, time for your one-on-one visit. I did not know what was happening. I just followed everyone's lead. Jackson was left with 3 strippers while the rest of us paired up with our own strippers, and each went into a private room that looked exactly like a hotel room. Wait a second, something isn't right here. Hold on, I told Chi-Chi. What are we doing here? Chi-Chi pushed me onto the bed and got on top of me. What are we doing here? Chi-Chi questioned. We're doing what I was paid to do. Chi-Chi started to kiss me and unzip my pants. It was obvious how this would all end up. Ignoring my male hormone's primary desires, I pushed Chi-Chi off me and knocked her onto the ground. Oh! Chi-Chi yelled. What was that for? I'm sorry, I claimed as I helped Chi-Chi up. It's just, no, let me guess, Chi-Chi commented. There are 3 reasons why you would do this. First, you're cheating on someone. Second, you're saving yourself. Or third, you're afraid that I'm infected with a disease. So tell me, which one is it? Or is it all of the above? Chi-Chi had struck me down, and now I could find a reason to get back up. I just stood silent, just as I thought another lackluster risk-taker. Chi-Chi mocked. Look, Trey, if you weren't comfortable with this, then you shouldn't have come down here. Maybe this isn't the way you're supposed to live. That last comment put me out of my misery. Maybe you're right, I barked. I stormed out of the room, wanting to chase down the exit. As I came out, I bumped into Ken in the hallway. Trey, where are you going? Ken wondered. I'm leaving, I admitted. All right, Ken cheered. David needs to give me back my $50. I made another bet saying you wouldn't go all the way. I was already broken inside, but this is just overkill. In response, I punched a wall. My life isn't something to laugh about or bet on, I roared. Trey, you're making a scene, Ken informed. Chill out. I could have revealed that I'm basically an immortal deity with the power to create new life using spirits, but it would be less stressful to just storm out now, growling. None of you will ever understand me, I barked. You know, Ken, I heard a woman on TV say live evil, which means to live life to the fullest regardless of what people think, and this is not how I will live mine. See you tomorrow. I stormed out of the club and onto the streets. I couldn't even face those guys right now. I just wanted to go home. Alone on the streets, I watch as families and couples walk past me, further drilling in the message of how alone I was in the crowd. Just to put the final nail in the coffin, I walked past a bunch of TV sets in a store window, all displaying a video of Liv Malum. TV. Remember, everyone, art is subjective, Liv proposed. And so is life. So make sure you love what you create as much as you love how you live out your days. Like I always say, live evil. That voice, that smiling face, and that upbeat attitude at first I was drawn to now disgusted me. I just ran away from that voice before it manipulated me into doing anything else. Screaming. Leave me alone, I begged. God, why did you do this to me? Why did I have to be born as Spirit Seeker? Tell me why. I got no answer from the universe. Growling. Looks like I'll never get answers or live life to the fullest, I confessed. I wish I wasn't so alone or better, yet I wish I could die normally so I could make a proper fresh start. I got so enraged with the world I kicked a rock into the sky. Due to not focusing on where I was kicking the rock, it ended up smashing a car window that was driving by. The car I ended up hitting made an emergency stop. There were 3 guys that got out of the car and immediately identified me as the guy that did the damage. One of them called out for me and took a gun out. My only option I could think of was to run for it. I ran off with the men chasing me. I ended up running into a dead end in an alley. Cornered and out of options, I just accepted what was coming. Okay, I kicked the rock, I confessed. I'm sorry. From the looks of the men, they were gang members, and that only added to my desperation. Cracking knuckles. Sorry doesn't cut it. the first gang member confessed. "And I wouldn't want this to happen again, so we'll just have to teach you a lesson." The first gang member punched me in the face, smashing me into the wall. My phone fell out of my pocket and the second gang member stepped on it. They all towered over me and were ready to beat me to death. "Hope you had a good life," the first gang member warned. Right before I was attacked, a blinding light from a motorcycle came closer and closer. The rider of that motorcycle was a man dressed in street clothes who got off his motorcycle and approached what was about to be a murder scene. For some unknown reason, I was able to sense the presence of this motorcyclist and pinpoint their exact location. This was a feeling I had never felt before from any human. "What do we have here?" the motorcyclist wondered. "A random act of violence. Oh, what a terrible thing to see." The third gang member drew their gun at the motorcyclist as a warning to stay away. "This is none of your business," the third gang member barked. The motorcyclist took off their helmet. From what I saw, the motorcyclist is a man with pure white hair, red eyes, and sharp teeth. It also seemed they had a tattoo under their left eye. "Actually, I make it my business to inject myself into crimes," the motorcyclist informed. The third gang member fired a warning shot. The motorcyclist seemed excited by the fear of losing his life. Wicked laughing. "That was close." The motorcyclist teased. "You really need to work on your aim." The motorcyclist, still with the same confidence, stepped forward. "Now, gentlemen, we're all normal humans here," the motorcyclist claimed. "We can work something out." The first gang member ended up shooting the motorcyclist in the head, leaving him dead on the floor. "No time for talking," the first gang member yelled. "Now then, where were we?" Even though I could reincarnate myself, I was still terrified of the situation I was in. "Listen, I won't tell anyone," I admitted. "Just please let me go." "Sorry." The second gang member spoke and pointed their gun at my head. "No witnesses." Just as I was about to die, we all noticed a yellow light that was coming from behind us. The next thing we noticed was a demonic 10 feet tall monster with the body of a man, the tail of a snake, and the head of a bat. Terrified, all the gang members just started to shoot this demon. However, to everyone's shock, the demon's skin was bulletproof. The demon grabbed the second gang member by their left arm and crushed their head, laughing. "Whoops, guess I wasn't really human after all," the demon mocked. "Now time to die." The demon within seconds slaughtered all 3 members, even going as far as to bite their heads off, then lick their blood off their face and swallow it. Now that they were gone, all that was left was me and the demon. And then there was one, the demon claimed. The demon grabbed me by my shirt and threw me into a wall. "Sorry," the demon spoke. "But I can't have anyone knowing my secret. It will ruin everything I worked for." Just as the demon went for the final attack, I saw the spirits of the gang members floating off. I quickly grabbed it and transformed it into a tiger to defend myself. "Stay back," I warned, "or else I'll make something bigger." The demon looked amazed by my ability and paused their attack. Despite their shock, the demon was easily able to pin down my tiger and crush its head. The demon then grabbed me by my neck with their snake-like tail and pinned me to a wall. "I don't believe it," the demon admitted. "You're just like me. How I have longed for this day. This is one of the weirdest nights of my life. Suffocating." "What are you?" I begged. The demon gave me this sinister smile and then proceeded to laugh, laughing. "You really want to know?" the demon wondered. "I'm your new best friend." Before I could get any more information, I blacked out from being suffocated.